So we've got Jayson Woodbridge here from 100 Acre Winery in Napa, and Jayson has brought us, I think, well, he's bought 24 bottles, of which, how many wines do we have here, Jayson?
Well, it's a complete vertical of 100 Acre, all of the Kaylee Morgan ever released, all of the Ark Vineyard ever released, all of the Ancient Way from Australia, from the Barossa ever released, plus Deep Time, Precious, and the two released 100 Acre ports. So,
well, we haven't got time to talk about all these wines, so I think what we'll do is we'll choose 3 wines to talk about. So I think
sure,
that's the best thing.
Yeah, that sounds
now, I think, firstly, we've got here at the far end of the row, we've got the 2,000 100 Acre, which I think is a good wine to start with, isn't it, Jayson?
Yeah,
so let's have a look at that.
Yeah, 2000 is the first release of 100 Acre, and it was in a vintage that a lot of people considered to be not optimal. But for me, you know, the vintage was amazing in its elegance, its feminineness, its seductiveness. And what I find most interesting about it is that the vintage itself is still going up in the bottle. It's still improving. It's elegant. I don't see it peaking for a long time. And it's a very pretty wine. It's a very feminine and seductive wine, and that's really what I love about it.
It is an absolutely delicious wine, and you made what, around 900 cases?
Yeah, around 900 cases. Well, we didn't release that because I kept quite a bit of it for myself. Well, about 50 cases.
So you took a certain percentage. So really, we can say
there's only about 25 left now.
Yeah, and probably about 26 left in the world, I should think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then on to the two. Well, we'll talk next about the 2001 Kaylee Morgan, which is there next on the list in the bottle lineup. Tell us about that.
Well, 2001 was a good year, and I think that it was a year where it was far more concentrated. It was a wine that was still elegant, but it had a lot more muscle and structure to it. And you know, I don't think it's the best year of 100 Acre by any means, but I think it's a year that was a lovely year, and I was very pleased with it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been released. And then we followed that with we also just tasted the 2001 Deep Time, which is the same wine, only it's aged for a far more extended period of time. All the 100 Acre wines are aged for about 28 to 30 months. And then Deep Time is aged 36 to 50 months. And it just...
Which is up to about 4 years, isn't it?
4 to 5 years, yeah. And it just has... It changes the wine. It becomes more polished. It's kind of a different expression of the wine. I don't know that it's necessarily better than the 01 itself, but it's different, and it's great to see it, because basically by aging at that longer time, the amount of dissolved oxygen and the time that it spends in the barrel is like advancing time forward. How far, I don't know. I kind of theorize it's more like, 10, 15 years forward in time, but it's like looking at the wine in the future.
So 2000 was your first vintage of
That's
100
right.
Acre.
Yeah.
And so we're now obviously in the 2009 vintage. We've had nearly 10 years.
No, this is the 10th vintage.
This is the 10th vintage, the 09. Yeah. So which of these vintages would you choose as your desert island wine? If you had to take a case with you to
well, really, the wine it isn't here. The 07 Ark that we made, to me, is the greatest wine I've ever made. And it's the 07 vintage is probably the best vintage Napa's seen in 30, 40 years. And I only say that because I have the wines going back 30, 40 years from all over the valley. And I really feel that it's extraordinary.
And what was particular about 07 that made it such a great vintage?
The weather was perfect. I mean, it was just like you take the textbook out and you go perfect, 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 straight A's, weather, and the fruit just came in amazing.
And so right from bud break onwards, we're talking
everything. It just straight A's all the way down the list, and that just doesn't happen. I mean, it's very rare. And on top of that, the fruit responded, and it's not just our fruit. Everyone in the valley had an amazing year for fruit. every single winemaker was feeling that they might make the best wine they ever made in their life.
Go out and find the 2007 100 Acre. Jayson Woodbridge, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.